Good morning. Welcome to the Legacy of Daniel podcast. Out on my morning walk. Have the day off today. Enjoying the sunrise on this cold. It's about 35 degrees this morning, but skies are clear, and I'm making my way to the park where I'm going to partake in a bit of a ritual, a ceremonial video. I'm gonna have two videos for the YouTube channel, the one I'm currently creating, speaking into, and the one I'm going to create for my Walking with Destiny YouTube series. I have a lot of mini YouTube series that are quite fun and creative, and as often as I can, make my way to the American flag here at a local park. There's a bit of a memorial, and I just like to do my part in making sure the origin story of America is always being honored. It is always being nurtured in a way, sometimes re-nurtured, remembered, so that it's never washed away. It's never put under a bushel. We don't want our history to be in the shadow of something else. That would be a real danger to us as a people, our history, and we don't want that. Our history is living, and it needs to remain living so that it can be participatory, it can be inclusive, and it can continue to live on and lead us to greater heights of exceptionalism, where we can better understand freedom, equality, and how we could incorporate our rights that we've been so nobly chiseling into our daily lives ever since we first began writing them on paper. Even before the founding of this nation, we had ideas on freedom that quite yet weren't being allowed to prosper. And the Pilgrims left and made their voyage, and the seed of freedom, the seed of courage, seed of religion, and what these can prosper into came with them. And so today's topic or conversation is a little bit like yesterday, and we need to keep on voyaging. We need to keep voyaging out further and further, but we need to do it together so that we can come to better understand truly what the origin story is and what it is and why it came to be, so that we can continue fulfilling the calling of this nation that we've all been adopted into. Our country is great, it's mighty, but its greatness and mightiness is steeped in the depth of humility. And from this depth of humility, we come to know something that many other countries just seem to continue just kind of walking around the edge of this perimeter of knowing, this perimeter of greatness. And we Americans seem to just like to just dive straight in without really quite fully understanding the consequences. But that is where we discover the grace of Almighty, and the Almighty that this nation has been slowly coming to know. And our God is living, and so if it is living, then it is something that we must honor, and we honor through our great legacy. We honor through fulfilling our calling. We honor We honor through our honoring one another and taking part in this great story that we're all writing, has been being written before the founding of this nation, and we need to now step forward with a society that can provide more opportunities for all to participate in writing their story and taking part in the story that is being written of this nation by us and the great and almighty God that this nation is under, and that we are honoring through the writing of our written story. We have, over the past 60 years, the United States has been put into a great position of responsibility, almost a beautiful burden, one that we have both been put in positions of, we have learned great things. We're still, as a young nation, we're learning, but also greatly being used and taken advantage of. And we can once again rise to the mantle of exceptionalism, taking on the burden of responsibility for being a nation that could be a beacon for all the world to see, by making a few changes. And we need to alter our views on the economy. We need to alter our views on how we keep the economy going, as some would like to say. And we need to change our views on how we support the economy. And without creative expression from the individual, we don't really have an economy. We just have a tower of materialistic hedonism. This materialistic hedonism that is dominated by one generation, and sometimes even small groups of people, and this just leads to vast amounts of vast amounts of technological revolutions, advancements, AI, but has not seemed to lead to a vast amount of opportunities for entrepreneurs and individuals to begin starting new forms of employment, new jobs, and begin leading the economy and our society in a robust new cycle of prosperity. We're not seeing that, and I don't think AI is going to do that because of the vast amount of infrastructure that AI needs and the vast amount of jobs that it will replace, which has always been happening. So I'm not here to attack AI and the productivity that it's going to bring to society. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But what I fear that it's not going to do, I don't think it will lead to a vast amount of creative expression for society. It may, on a smaller scale, such as we may have an abundance of more podcasters and YouTube channels and other various forms of social media outlets. Maybe we start seeing some manufacturing pop up, which would be wonderful. But if we don't see a mass adoption of creative expression that could lead to some sort of rich gains in employment or even manufacturing, we're kind of at a bit of a dead end. We are trying to go from a society that was predominantly built upon spending and debt and leveraging this spending and debt while minimizing opportunities for the younger generations. And now we're just at the edge of really how much further this economy can go. The only other option is further debasement of the US dollar and the rising of alternate forms of currencies, which doesn't really seem to be offsetting the devaluation of the dollar or our society. So gold and silver can rise as much as it likes. There is no wealth creation coming from the rising of gold and silver. There is no wealth creation coming from Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. These are all just hedges. They are mediums of exchange of US dollar and fiat across financial markets, it seems like. It doesn't really seem like any real prosperity or values will or ever come from the rising of gold or silver or any of these cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin. A lot of people may point to this or that, but when you are in the trench of this warfare that we have been led astray into, then you come to know what true value is, and that's what I've come to know. And we either embrace the origin story of these great United States, these 50 United States, our great nation, a beautiful flag, our rich history, or we can embrace a useless economy that's just built upon spending and artificially high wages and pensions that no one really knows what to do with. Or we can go into a creative expansion mode where we utilize the infrastructure that is currently in place, honor our history, and we recreate a society with infrastructure and an economy that increases participation so that we can have more opportunities. Alrighty, I've made my way to our beautiful flag and the memorial site where we honor those who have fought for this great nation and our great freedoms, and we need to nobly take up our fight once again. Take up our fight for our origin story, a new origin story where we honor our past, we honor those who have brought this structure of freedoms, the structure of governance to us, that we must now continue to honor and fulfill so that it can be preserved for future generations. Our history is living, and we must keep it that way. We must not allow it to be put into the shadow of a larger building that's just going to be used to host parties and foreign dignitaries, which may be a wonderful and right thing to do, but not at the expense of us as a people, not at the expense of the White House and the humility and the honor, the legacy, the rich history of it. This is about something that we must truly protect, and that is our origin story. So let's, I guess maybe and I know my podcasts are a bit more of a rambling. I don't put things together. I don't plan any of this. I just start walking and then I start talking. That's basically how this goes, and I try to stay on relevant topics and also have a bit of a topic that all can follow and some would find interesting, hopefully. But we now must, I'm going to say this. I'm going to challenge all those, and I know I don't have really any followers, but anyone that does hear this that would take up the challenge of taking part in the origin story of America, their own story, take up that challenge. Take up the challenge for your creative expression, protected by your First Amendment right. Take up that challenge today. Begin writing, begin documenting, begin learning of our history, our origin story, and fight to protect it. Fight to write your own story and to protect your own story. If we do not write our story, no one else will. And if we don't protect our story, no one else will. it will just become dust to the next conqueror. So stand strong in your identity, stand strong in this nation and our great form of governance, our freedoms, our ideas on freedoms, and test them. Bring them out into the world. Test them. Walk to the edge of your understanding, and let's start having a more open dialogue, and let's start participating more, strengthening one another, and putting on the fullness of all that this nation has to provide, so that we may rise together into a beautiful and exceptionally great future.